be a little bit more open-minded and educate yourself. I know sometimes it can be hard because you're already going through school and you're like already learning a lot of things, but what's going on around the world affects so many people that may not have the same opportunities as you do, and that is a privilege you get to live. But by the simple fact of educating yourself is something that you are helping different communities to feel like they're being listened to. And so yeah, I would just say go be open-minded about what you learn, and make sure you educate yourself and be able to know when you're wrong and admit it. And I think admitting you're wrong, it's just allows for so much growth, and I'm barely learning that, so I'm no exception to this. But yeah, I think it's a very amazing thing to do.
Hello, Lissy, Marín-Contreras. Welcome to La Cima Memorias.
Hello, I'm glad to be here.
We want to kick off this interview by inviting you to introduce yourself to our listeners.
Of course. So I am Lissy Marín-Contreras, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. And I am an incoming freshman at the University of Washington, Seattle.
Outstanding. Cuéntanos quién eres.
Pues yo nací en Monterrey, Nuevo León, y también la familia de mi padre nació en Monterrey, Nuevo León. Mi madre es de Guerrero, y cuando yo tenía 1 año nos movimos aquí a los Estados Unidos, y viví en Michigan por unos años, pero en Washington viví 13 años de mi vida, entonces mucho tiempo aquí ya tengo.
¿De quién y de dónde vienes?
De una familia que me ha apoyado durante toda mi vida, y de unos padres que han sacrificado todo para mí. Entonces, soy un producto de su sacrificio, y todo lo que han hecho, lo han hecho para mi familia. Y soy un producto de mis padres que son inmigrantes, y parte de mi cultura, de mi raíz, que es México. Y trato de conectarme con mi cultura un poquito con mi baile folclórico que he hecho por toda mi vida, y ha sido una experiencia muy grandiosa que ha tenido gracias a mi mamá, quien me ha enseñado que qué importante es conectarte con tu cultura, tus raíces, y eso también es de quién soy. Yeah.
Can you tell me what La Cima means to you?
It is really a place where I can be myself and embrace my culture, my Latino culture. I struggled with that in high school because in a lot of my classes, I was the only Latinx there. And I struggled connecting with my Latino culture, which I really found comforting when I went to La Cima throughout my high school. I felt safe, and I felt like I could be myself, and I didn't have to hide or be afraid to show my Latino culture, which I really love that La Cima gives me that opportunity to be myself.
Thank you. What did you take away or leave with from La Cima?
I think the biggest thing I took away from La Cima was not taking things for granted. Since we share so many of our stories and we just get to hear everyone's experiences and everyone's lives, I realized a lot about what I have and how grateful I should be. So I think that's the biggest takeaway, knowing what you have and making sure you embrace it and take advantage of what you have to your advantage.
Wow. Is there a particular experience or memory that you had that stands out for you?
The biggest memory I have was probably the second year I went to La Cima. Towards the beginning of La Cima, my council group, they were all really shy, and I was very I was very scared that La Cima experience would be really boring, and I was scared that it was not going to be extremely fun as it was the first year with an extroverted group. But then I realized that as we got closer, as we did more challenges, as we did every um, talking circle and everything, I realized that we all started to get comfortable with each other, and then we all just really became this family that we always talk about, that La Cima gives us. But yeah, so that memory of me just being so of being blown away of who these people are, and although they were shy and introverted at the beginning, seeing them get out of their comfort zone and being willing to share their story with us, with the others, it just really, it was amazing, and I'm glad I had that experience.
Thank you. So, in this moment, in this time, I mean, you are just going to begin your higher education. There's so many things happening in the world. I mean, COVID shutdown, social uprising, economic crash. Um, what keeps you going in this moment?
Um, at this moment, what keeps me going is probably my family, just in general. I have a very supportive family, and we can talk to each other about everything that's going on in the world, and I find comfort in that. And the fact that we can share and be so intimate with each other really is really helpful for me to keep going. And although all these things are happening in the world, I know that I have my family to have my back, my brothers and my parents, which I am extremely grateful for, that I have them as a support system.
Wow. ¿Qué te motiva? ¿Qué acciones estás tomando?
Las acciones que estoy tomando es, estoy tratando de estar segura que estoy um, aprendiendo mucho de lo que está pasando, y no quiero estar cerrada en mi cuarto y no poner atención a lo que está pasando en el mundo nomás porque estoy en mi cuarto. Entonces me estoy educando con todas las cosas que están pasando en el mundo, y especialmente aquí en los Estados Unidos, porque me afecta a mí, a la comunidad de personas de color, y es muy importante que estoy educándome, y es lo que siento que es lo que puedo hacer ya que estoy aquí nomás en mi cuarto. Es muy importante para mí.
Wow, you're impressive. To wrap up this interview, we'll ask you a few lightning round questions. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Is there a book or podcast that you would recommend to everyone?
I haven't been reading that much, and I'm not that big of a fan of a podcast, but I do have a Netflix show recommendation. So I've been watching Dear White People. It's a Netflix original, I believe, and I think it's a great source to educate yourself in an entertaining way. So if you do struggle to find, go like out of your way to look up articles and all of that, that's just a great show to watch, to educate about yourself, about what's happening to the Black community and what they've been going through and what's going on in their heads, because that's an experience that some of us do not share. Yeah.
Outstanding. What is a piece of advice you would say to your younger self or wished you had heard when you were younger?
An advice I would have would be something that I've very much learned at La Cima, which was step out of your comfort zone. At least, like, I have vivid memories in middle school how introverted I was and how I closed off I was from everyone. So the fact that La Cima gave me the opportunity to know what stepping out of your comfort zone is it's a great experience I got to have, and I wish I had it earlier. So that was an advice that I would give to myself.
Like, what allowed you to even to make the first steps?
I think it was really just all motivating how everyone's story and the fact that um, like how important it was to have leadership and representation of leadership, which is really essential to just build have some safety net for your community, I think. So yeah, knowing that representation made me feel safe. I knew that to be a leader, you have to step out of your comfort zone and you have to do things that you wouldn't usually do. And I think that's like a huge role that I was able to take by looking at every leader in La Cima, and it just really inspired me in some way. Yeah.
There are a lot of examples, right? I mean, we that's our intention, right? We put JCs in front of you. We put, yeah. Um, and actually, that's, the role, it's a really bummer about being canceled, but we put a lot of thought into what's called a near peer mentor. And you would have heard about that in the training, but your example or examples for you of people who are like you, who are just ahead or you were just ahead of, have such a social influence. And so that's what we try to harness in La Cima. Um, so we hope that, you'll certainly come back next year, and then you'll have a whole nother, year under your belt around higher ed and what that means.
Yeah. Hopefully I will too.
What is a call of, what is a call to action you have for our listeners?
I think a call to action would be to be a little bit more open-minded and educate yourself. I know sometimes it can be hard because you're already going through school and you're like already learning a lot of things, but what's going on around the world affects so many people that may not have the same opportunities as you do. And that is a privilege you get to live, but by the simple fact of educating yourself is something that um, you are helping different communities to feel like they're being listened to. And so, yeah, I would just say go be open minded about what you learn and make sure you educate yourself and be able to know when you're wrong and admit it. And I think admitting you're wrong, it's just allows for so much growth. And I'm barely learning that. So I'm no exception to this, but um, yeah, I think it's a very amazing thing to do.
You made me wonder what it is that you want to study.
Oh, I'm right now looking at studying business. That's just like the first thing. So I did get accepted into the Foster School of Business, which is um, amazing. And so I am going to take that as my first step and see if I like it or not, because I'm still not like sure on it, like sure if I'm going to major in it. But yeah, so that's what I'm focused on right now.
Very cool. Is there anyone that you would like to thank or offer gratitude?
Yes. I think the biggest person that I like, the person that I have to, that I'm most grateful for would be my mother. She has been the biggest influence in my life in education wise. And I mean, both my parents, both my parents have sacrificed a lot in their lives to give me everything that I have today and making sure that I strive to be my best self, which I am extremely grateful for because I've come so far because of them and only them with a little bit of my own effort, because without them and without their support, I wouldn't be anywhere where I am today. So I'm extremely grateful for them.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.